Well, welcome back to the basement, well, the lab. So, got my order in of Geckotek build sheet for the Mark III. So let's open it up and take a look what we got here. Oh, look at how nice they did this. So we've got fine Swedish cardboard technology. You know, this is almost IKEA-like here in its brilliance. Little installation guide. They give you a list of the temperatures that it works well with, and I got this specifically to try out for nylon. So it's got a nylon temp, what the bed needs to be and what you should have the extruder at, but I think I'm going to follow this only for the first layer because it's giving me some math here, and I think I have some PLA that doesn't work at 200C. So we're gonna keep this. But really, the important part is this fancy thing right here, the Geckotek sheet. So we've got some fancy holders here. Now, let's see if my technology from when I used to work in a warehouse still works. Oh no, they didn't leave big tabs. We might have to get a cutter. Do I need to get a cutter? I do need to get a sharp object. Let's grab where are my snips? See, this is why you don't reorganize your space. 1 second. Ta-da! Found my snips. Open up this bad boy. Then flip that over. Just gonna throw that over there. That goes over there. And we got this beautiful sheet, and that is pretty unhappy to see that it's only on one side. These things are like $60. So you only get coating on one side. The other side is blank, which, I mean, that means I could probably throw another surface on there, but we do have some downfalls. I posted some information about this on the forum, and we had some people that have used this material on there, and they said this is not spring steel. This was staying bent after using it. And from the looks of it, they are correct. It actually is slightly bowed already. I can actually kind of feel where there's a spot where it wants to bend upward. So that's not a good sign, but it's not coated underneath. Just looks like it's the whatever steel this is, whether it's supposedly on their website it says it has it acts like spring steel, but unfortunately if you go to the FAQ it just says sheet metal. I don't know what that means. I would love to see some data information. I mean, there's fingerprints all over this back of this material here from handling, so it looks like literally they just get these sheets and apply this. I mean, there's a corner kind of pulled up here. So far, not really impressed by the Geckotek EZ-Stik hot bed. It has a very dirty look to it too. It looks like it hasn't been cleaned yet. So we're going to clean this. I'm going to put this on the Mark III over here. Notice it doesn't have the notches, so unfortunately no notches to help you line up, but probably cost extra to add notches on things. So let's move this too. We don't need this. Get out of here, cardboard. That was probably loud. So yeah, we got the sheet. Let me grab the Mark III sheet. Boom. Let's see if the math is correct. I had this custom cut, so I'd have an exact replica. They don't do the notches though, so I have an exact replica sheet. It's not missing, it doesn't have the notches cut out. That is an exact fit. 241 by 252 millimeters. I do it this way, and it's true. It is a rectangle, not a square. So far so good. Now the Prusa one is nice. Now, this is why I'm replacing it. This is my PETG side. I mean, look at how bad that is. And one bad roll of Sunlu PETG, and it had stained this for the longest time orange. So I'll never be buying the Sunlu PETG again. But yeah, this is my PETG side. It is, it needs to be sanded. it is gross. Still works. Stuff still sticks to this somehow, but it's gross. The PLA side is starting to get gross because I actually switched to this side for PETG, so I got a little corner there that didn't come off from my last print stuff in PETG. You know, like this. This is a little PETG thingy that I did. So, you know. But yeah, we're gonna give this a try. I'm gonna throw some PLA on here first. Throw some PETG on here. I do have some. Does it say flexible? It does say flexible on here. So I'm gonna throw some flex on here. It says the bed should be 50. I'm gonna throw some flex on here. We might ruin this sheet, and then we're just gonna be like, oh man, there goes 60 bucks. But whatever. So yeah, we'll throw some things on here. I'll take some pictures of those things. Maybe some video of how easy they come off and or how difficult they come off. But that sounds. They sound the same. About the same stiffness. So we'll see. But yeah, we are going to give the Geckotek EZ-Stik Hot a try today. So stay tuned. Well, welcome back. We finished our first print on the Geckotek surface. We used the EZ-Sun PETG. And as you can see, we have a very, very pretty print. I mean, that turned out pretty darn great. Bed is cold now, so because it says do not attempt to remove while still warm. A couple of things. When it heated up, it smelled very plasticky. So there was a very, very plastic smell, but it magnetized right to the bed perfect. Fit just fine on the Mark III. Print stuck perfect. I did think I had to lower the Live Z, but I didn't actually have to lower the Live Z. It was really strange. So I measured the bed plate, and this is just over 1 millimeter thick. The Mark III bed plate is just, I think it's like 1.2 millimeters, 1.3 millimeters thick. And it does have, you know, a sheet on both sides. This has a single sheet. So I thought I was going to have to lower the Z. Didn't. And it worked out fine. I actually had to raise it up quite a bit because as soon as it started laying down the plastic, it was adhering really, really well. So I really liked how it was adhering. As you can see, there isn't any... let's see if I can get it just on the slice. Yeah, there's not any warping. That's why I picked this little fun guy. I'll have a link to him in the description. But yeah, I mean it worked well. It does have a very plastic smell when it heated up. I don't smell it now. The bed was at the recommended temp of 75 C because it said anywhere between 70 80 C, so I picked 75 to be safe. Ran my regular EZ-Sun profile, and yeah, it worked great. But we need to test the one thing that this is supposed to be good for, and it's supposed to release. I've been warned to not flex it too much from other users in the group, so we're gonna get ready. We're gonna not go crazy on the flexing. So we're just gonna grab it right here and just give it a little. Oh, it's not popping off. This could be bad, guys. Ooh, that is on there. And you can actually, I don't know if you can see that in the light. You can see how it's kind of warped around the little fingers here. Oof. That's not a good sign. That's probably not a good sign. It looks like it's still a little stuck on there. I'm going to try a little more flexing here. Oh, okay, it's releasing now. It released. Oh, okay, there we go. There we go. It's releasing. Definitely need a little bit more force to pop that off. I mean, yeah, it's definitely releasing. So let's see if it'll just come off with some finger grabbing. Ooh, that is really, really on there. And that has deformed the sheet, as you can see. And it left some residue there. right there. That's not good. That is not good at all, because it's, I mean, that's not good at all. So, $60 sheet, first print. We have dinged that out pretty good with the recommended settings. I mean, it says it works great with PETG. It held on. It did pop off eventually after some squeezing, but yeah, that looks like it removed some of that coating there, as you can see. So we're not doing so good. Print though turned out fabulous. That is quite the print. Let's see if I can get it to focus that close. Oh, I can. Yeah, that is a pretty print. But no, not happy about this. I'm gonna see if I can buff that out with a little bit of isopropyl alcohol, but it's definitely deformed around the shape. And there, I mean, there's, I don't know if we can see, but there's not really any elephant footing, so it wasn't too squished down. I do like this glass-like surface here, but that makes me sad. So yeah, let me try to clean this up. Next up is a pack of Geckotek TPC Semiflex. So we're going to run some semi-flexible material through it, see if it sticks. I'm just going to move the object from the center of the bed over to the side, see how that works. So yeah, let's try round 2, so stay tuned for more. Oh, alright, well, we're back. I didn't do the TPU, because I wanted to try something. I printed the same object, same little wavy octopus man. Hey guys! And what I did was I printed it right over the same spot. So it still worked. I mean, even on the damaged spot, the PLA is still stuck. There's no warping. So we're gonna see if that pops off. So let's give that a little bend. It is popping off. So we're gonna see if we take even more material off this. So this will be fun, and this will tell me if I even want to try the TPU. And yeah, it still took. You can see it still took some material off. So this is basically no fun. I mean, it's just continuing to take more and more material off. Of course, I did reprint in the same spot just to see if maybe maybe those are just imperfections. No, it's just literally taking more material off right there. And it's not like this was that high of a temperature. This was PLA, again, within the oh, I just dropped my octopus. Go get him, me on a boat. Boop, 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 boop. There's me on a boat. So yeah, my bed was at 60, so it's within the PLA guidelines for this, and it just continues to take off more on this. Remind you, $60. $60, 2 prints, one being PETG and one being PLA. I mean, the prints, the printer did great. The bed, not so great. So, yeah, we're just going to go ahead and, I'm going to try the TPU, but I'm going to move the TPU print from the center to off center somewhere. I'm going to pick a side. I'll roll a 6-sided die, and wait, no, 8-sided. I'll roll an 8-sided die, and I'll figure out which side we're going to do. And we'll see if the TPU just destroys the whole thing. But remember, it says it's recommended. It says, part removal. This has been sitting here for an hour. I finished this print, went and did a photo shoot, came back, set it right here on this thing so it doesn't melt my fancy cutting mat. So we'll see. We'll find out. So stay tuned for part 3. Alright. Well, welcome to the final installment of this fantastical series of the Geckotek EZ-Stik hot plate. So, did my very first TPU flex, flex material print. Used some Geckotek. So I bought a sample of Geckotek TPC, which is just a copolyester version. It's a 92A, so it's not super, rubbery and stuff, but it printed great. Shout out to Jim for hooking me up with his Simplify 3D profile, which turned out really good. I mean, I did have an issue. I did print once, and I messed it up because I was like, I kept listening. Everyone's like, print really slow, 20, 30 millimeters per second, turn off retractions, and blah, blah, blah. And I went back and this messed up. I mean, it was getting all super stringy and gross, and I mean, it worked. It came off the bed, which was great. That's the issue we're having right now. But I went back and read the 3D Geckotek info on it, and it said prints fast, 60, 70 millimeters per second. So I went back, added the retractions back, sped it up to 50 millimeters per second, and just let it go. And it worked. It worked out great. There's no stringing. There's a little bit of pitting where you can see that nice flex there. Squeezy ball. But yeah, I think for the very first time I've ever printed flex, that turned out great. It worked. I mean, it could be worse. So now we need to see if it comes off. I mean, that's been the issue so far. We've already damaged the plate from our PETG, and then I ran the PLA and it just took more off. It does print on there. I mean, again, the PLA didn't warp, but let's see if, of course, that's not going to come off. But I do have some leverage here to come underneath, and nope, we're going to have to go back to the technique I took this one off. So let me grab my fancy spatula. Hold on. Wow, fancy spatula. I keep this over there by the Mark IIs because, they do need a little bit of help. But all I did was get right underneath the toe nail, the tentacle nail, and just pry them up a little bit. It's pretty sturdy stuff. It tends to work. You can see I got on that first one, and it pops up. And I'll go to the next one. I'll go to the next one. This is fun. I bet you guys are like, wow, what is this guy doing? He's crazy. He's using a spatula on a material that is supposed to just pop prints right off. Again, never used this for a flex before. I actually never used this material before. I don't even know why I'm trying to explain how I've used this before. This is all a first thing for all of us, maybe. So I got that under there, and now it's starting to come off. Because now we got those tentacles nice and loose. Oh, there we go. One more. Come on, tentacle monster. Sorry for that visual. We're going to call you Inky. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get this off very easily, but it's coming. There we go. It's a common. It's on there. It's not fused. It's just really on there. And this actually was funny. So the TPU actually comes off just fine. It doesn't pull the whole material off. That was what I noticed the first time I had the failure. Yeah, now we got a big squishy ball, flexy arm, tentacle monster man, who we'll call Inky. But yeah, I mean, from the test, I'm not very excited about the future of this material here. One, I don't know what the plate is made out of. It says the flex of spring steel on the website, but then if you go to the FAQ, they say sheet metal. I mean, spring steel is a sheet metal. Whatever this is, I don't know what it is. It is coated only on one side, so you pay $60 for a one-sided print material, which is fine, because you can just put whatever you want on here. And since we've already damaged this side, I may just order another one of these to put on this side, and maybe that will, maybe it's just a bad batch. But I mean, look at this. We destroyed. Well, I destroyed this. So final thoughts. Packaged well. I love the way it was packaged. It had promise. It is a nice flexy sheet. It does have a warp to it. But when you put it on the magnetic bed, it does lock down nice and flat. The thickness is nice. It does leave room to put on another material. And materials do technically pop off when you flex them, but not without damaging the material. And again, I did print over the damaged part, and it did stick to that just fine. And the TPU printed just fine. It's just a little gross underneath. But yeah, I mean, I think my next course of action is emailing Geckotek and be like, hey, what do I need to do to never damage material? Is it just this sensitive? Again, I'm coming from PEI where, you know, I've printed nonstop, and this is what my PEI looks like. I mean, when I flex this, the parts come right off. This, not so much. The only downfall of this is when you've got a side that you print. Actually, what's funny, so this looks a lot better. I sanded this with some 1000 grit sandpaper to get all those marks off. But when I print PETG, one side does get a little bit more damaged. It can fuse to this. I was expecting this because they were saying like we work great with other materials that others don't. Yeah, you work, but you're falling apart. I mean, literally, I'm 4 prints, well, 3.3 prints in, and it's damaged. I mean, I've never, well, actually, I did. First Prusa I brought, I damaged because I didn't put the pin to right, but. I mean, again, this is months. This is from December. This is my PLA side that I also print a little bit of PETG on when I just want a nice side, and I mean, it's still perfect. I mean, there's a little messy here, and you might look closer, some little bubbles from the last few prints I did. You know, it's perfectly fine. This side, this is my PETG side. It was rough, but I can just sand it and go back to normal. I don't know if I could sand this. I don't know if this is even going to last more than a couple months. The website said it was good, you know, for 100 prints. I can see why if it keeps falling apart, because if I just keep moving my prints along the bed, maybe I won't damage too much. So I'm going to email off these guys, see what I can find out. But for now, my personal opinion, buy the Geckotek flex plate. They make one now for the Mark III that fits perfect. It even notched, so it lines up. This was fine. You can see it actually scratched up these corners where the little ends were when I try to butt it up. Let me see it then. Yeah, there we go. So when I dented, it actually dented in there a little bit into the material, but the Geckotek flex plate fits. From what I've seen from the Geckotek, it doesn't just completely damage itself when you try to use it like it's supposed to. Same with the PI. It works. So yeah, get the Geckotek one, and if you want to try the Geckotek, just order the right size sheet. You know, put one side PI, one side this, or one side Geckotek, one side PI, so that way you can flip back and forth, or whatever. So right now, as it stands, Geckotek kind of lame until I email, figure it out. Maybe there's something I did wrong. Maybe they give me some more input. If they tell me to put glue stick on here, I'm just gonna be like, hey, come on, why invent something if I already got to put glue stick on this? And this is since December. That's how nice that looks. This is day 1. I mean, we're not even in a day. We're not a full day in. So, but other than that, I do have 3 beautiful octopuses, pies. They all turned out really nice. I mean, every single one of these turned out pretty much perfect. Tuned in, they look great. So in the end, I got 3 really cool prints to put in my lab down here. So yeah, enjoy. Say goodbye, Tugboat Chris, and yeah, happy printing.